आप डिनाई कर सकते हैं, मेरा ख्याल है हमारे गांजू ने तो कर ही दिया।
आगे 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 बताए नहीं इसको आगे ये बात प्लांट हो रहा है जो चल रहा है
ठीक ठाक आवाज आ रही है किसकी
प्लांट
दूसरा मतलब इसके ऊपर है। दूसरा इंडिया का अपराइजिंग के बारे में स्टांस है ये वैल्यूएशन उनका चाइना का भी सफर बाकी
के लिए और टाइम टू टाइम नए नए इशू पैदा होते रहते हैं। हम उसको ट्रेनिंग हो रही है कर रहे हैं। तो उसमें लाजम मसला ये है कि हमारा कंप्यूटर्स है, हमारी सारी खबरें मेरी दिमाग में आपका ध्यान हो जाता है, हमारे और हमारे नेशनल इंडिया का इन्वेस्टमेंट के ऊपर हमसे ज़्यादा है। तो हमारी जो सर्विसेज तो हम अगर अपनी क्वालिटी इम्प्रूव करें तो इंडियन क्वालिटी के मुकाबले में उनका तो क्वांटिटी वाइज ठीक है, क्वालिटी का कुछ नहीं है। बिल्कुल बोलते हैं अगर हम सिर्फ अपनी क्वालिटी इम्प्रूव करें और फॉरेन बिजनेस जो है खासतौर पर फॉरेनर्स उनको हम सही बात बता सकें जहाँ जहाँ कहीं। अभी मैंने उसको स्टीवेंसन को कहा, मैंने कहा देखो बात जल्दी कर दे, तो मैं कह यार तो हम ही कह दो हमारा तो इससे ही बात खत्म हो जाए। लेकिन कोई तो दुनिया में होना चाहिए जो गलत गलत सही तो सही कह सके। तो हम लोग क्यों चुप हो इस बात पर, या कब हम तो गलत कह रहे हो हमारी बात मान लें। इसके जवाब में उसने कहा कि मैं दुनिया में नहीं हो सकता है, लेकिन बोल रहा हूँ कोई उसको खड़ा होकर कहेगा कि मैं नहीं बात मानता हूँ, ये नहीं होता है। तो उसको जब बात समझ आई और स्टीवेंसन ने कहा हमारे इसको सेक्रेटरी को कहा 2 दिन तो उन्होंने कहा कि ये सरदार क़याूम के साथ 2 घंटे जो मैं रहा हूँ, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि 2 साल में जो बात सामने न आती हूँ उसके साथ प्रैक्टिस करना शुरू हो गई। तो अब ये क्वालिटी की बात है और कोई बात नहीं है। बल्ब प्रोपेगेंडा तो हमारे मतलब बहुत है, लेकिन ये हम अपनी बात सही खुद समझते हो और फिर उसको सही कन्वे कर सकते। ये मैंने कल जो जनरल एक साथ सेमिनार था मैंने इसमें भी कहा इस वक्त मुश्किल ये है कि बात लोग सही समझते नहीं हैं और उसको सही तरीके से कन्वे नहीं करते। बस ये डिफॉल्ट है सारा। हम
हमारा केस बहुत
हमारा केस इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग है जी कि कोई बात ही नहीं है कि हमारी बात कैसे न सुनेंगे। वो अपना रॉबर्ट सेफ्टी था, बड़ा मशहूर एमपी है, इंडियन लॉ का आदमी है। मैं उसको मिलने गया तो कहने लगा कि बड़ी मुश्किल से उसने टाइम दिया कि आई हैव ओनली 5-10 मिनट्स। मैंने कहा ठीक है। जब मैंने बात शुरू की तो 1 आवर और मुझे कहने लगा कि उसके और एमपी जी थे तो मुझे कहा कि मैंने कभी किसी की तारीफ नहीं की है, लेकिन मेरे यू प्रेजेंटेड ऑफ केस की तारीफ किए हुआ नहीं रह सकता। और मैं बिल्कुल मैं जिम्मेदारी समझता हूँ अपनी कि मैं इंडियंस को कन्वे करूँगा तुम्हारा केस ये है। तो अब हमारे यहाँ समय ये बड़ी मुश्किल हो गई है कि लोग मुताया नहीं करते, डॉक्यूमेंट का हिसाब नहीं करते। तो
इसका अगर आप आज ही करें, मैं एक क्वेश्चन आपसे करूँगा तो आप इसको रीस्टेट करें।
जो इंडियन स्टेटमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं उसमें उसने ये कहा था कि कश्मीर जो है ये शिमला समझौता की वजह से यूएन के रेगुलेशन फसदा हो गई है और ये क्या वो इस केस को दोबारा मुद्दा में नहीं उठाया जा सकता और या टोटल और आज़ाद कश्मीर को हमारे हवाले करना चाहिए। इसमें फिर इन्होंने ये स्टेटमेंट एडिटोरियल डिपार्टमेंट आपको पता है सारा।
अब इसको बार बार हैमर करने की जरूरत है। उसकी बात होती है मतलब शिमला मामले में हमारा केस जो है बाई डिफॉल्ट वो एक तरफा प्रोपेगेंडा करते हैं, उसकी ये इंटरप्रिटेशन है, ये है, ये है। हमने नहीं जवाब दिया कि इंटरप्रिटेशन के और बेसिकली हमने उसको एक्सेप्ट कर लिया तो ठीक है, वो जो इंडियंस कहते हैं वही ठीक है।
उसके रीजन भी सर हमसे बेहतर आप ही जानते हैं।
हाँ मतलब मैंने आपसे जी हमने लैक ऑफ कमिटमेंट है और कोई बात नहीं है कि हम पाकिस्तान में रहेंगे, नॉट कमिटेड टू एनीथिंग, वक्त गुजार रहे हैं बस। क्वेश्चन ऑफ कमिटमेंट करना हम सच्ची बात को करते हैं और फॉरेनर्स के साथ अंग्रेजी ही बोलना पड़ती है कि आपने लोगों को जरा मुश्किल होता है। कोई यार ऐसा कमरा कहीं बनाना चाहिए जहाँ टेलीफोन वाला कोई पैसा हो रहा।
Sardar Sahab, you are proceeding on a foreign trip. Would you give details of this trip? Because we know your lifelong mission is Kashmir. It's going to be about the Kashmir. Would you tell our listeners this time and what is your elaborate trip for us?
So the basic purpose of this trip is to attend an international conference on Kashmir, which is being called by the Kashmiri British community residing in the UK. They're the people who are training this independent organization known as Kashmir Forum or something of that sort. And they invited people from Pakistan, from Kashmir, from Pakistan. They're trying to invite people from across India and also from Europe, America, and all over. So it's a conference of that nature. And I also want to invite this attend that conference. Now the purpose, as I could see from the people who planned this conference, and my purpose to attend is basically to explain the Kashmir issue in its correct perspective to the people other than Pakistanis in Kashmir. So to explain to them, to all people who want to explain it to the people outside the country is very important to my point of view. I personally feel that our case has generally gone by because we don't even explain our correct position, whereas India, because of its passive propaganda and bulk weight on all sides, has very successfully manipulated the guiding the world opinion and painted a very distorted picture of the political issue. Our primary responsibility, therefore, is that we go out and explain to the people. And it has worked very well so far. The American community, the United States, they hosted a conference very recently. This is the second conference we have in National. Many other conferences are going to follow. So that is the basic purpose of attending this conference. So
So that's what, as you know, Indian position it never reconciles with our position on Kashmir. And what precisely is the basic reason for that? Because it does not reconcile even a single inch. And there are other problems too in the world, but this is unique in this case. So you are the best person to respond to this question because you have been doing all these things. Your struggle is known to everybody in the world. Please comment on it.
This is a question which needs to be deliberated at length. In fact, there is no shortcut answer to this question. It relates to not only to the apparently evident position, but it has something of its underlying hidden aspects also. Now, in that respect, one thing is very clear that India has been defining all her own international and national commitments on Kashmir. That's one aspect, and nobody can deny this fact. She has also been defining international obligations, her own commitments made from time to time at the United Nations, within the Indian Parliament, outside the Indian Parliament, and they have so far managed to get away with it. The crux of the position is that India has occupied Kashmir by force against all international commitments, and she wants to retain that occupation again by force and wants to legitimize and legalize that occupation by saying that now, because it has forcibly occupied it, therefore it has become an integral part of their own country. Now that is the argument that they are advancing. They have come out with yet another argument very recently that if they concede anything like a plebiscite or some other option in Kashmir, they will have to, by force, make similar concessions in India itself, which might tantamount to conceding concessions to more than 500 states in India. Now that is an argument which they have evolved very recently to convince the world outside. The world outside has been scared of one thing, at least in India, and that is balkanization of India. Now India is a huge heterogeneous landmass which is not capable of retaining its integrity and solidarity on its own. It has to be supported from outside. After destabilization of Russia, this is considered to be yet another danger to the world order if India destabilizes and fragmented. But that fragmentation and division of India is in any way on its way and may be stopped artificially for some time. So this is an argument which is advanced by India to the Western countries, America and everywhere, that if Kashmir is allowed to exercise rights of determination, they will certainly opt for Pakistan. And in that case, many other states and many other movements which are taking place within India itself, they will also get their way. So they want to stop that. Now, with these arguments, now we say on the other hand, what we say is that all right, if we accept this argument, let us say, what is going to happen if this is not conceded, plebiscite is not conceded? The struggle will continue, and if the struggle continues, tension between India and Pakistan will keep growing. If the tension keeps growing, military build-up and nuclear build-up will also keep growing. And if that keeps growing, they will come to a point of confrontation and showdown at any time. If that showdown takes place, now what is the choice on both sides? Whether the first position is the better choice or the second position is the better choice, where the whole of region and maybe the whole world order is disrupted altogether. So there is no choice left, and I feel that India is projecting a very fabricated and a make-up story in order to convince the people. Otherwise, if there has to be peace on the subcontinent, it has to be brought about by normalizing relations between India and Pakistan. And relations between India and Pakistan can only be normalized by resolving the Kashmir issue. And Kashmir issue can be resolved only by reference to the will of the people under the United Nations. Now this is simply as logical and consistent as it is. And that's why that way I feel that the Indian case is all fabricated. And the only thing that they have an edge over us is that it's a big country, big resources, it's a strong country, powerful country, and therefore it must have its own. This is the argument. That is it. Otherwise, if there is any reason, logic, any reference to humanity, any reference to the world order, reference to international commitments, then India has absolutely no case.
So that's why, as you know, there are many facets to Indian stance on Kashmir. So one of the latest facets we are trying to exploit is that the Kashmir situation now is ostensibly jeopardizing the fate of Indian Muslims. Do you think there is any truth to this stance?
It's absolutely no truth. Indian Muslims can only survive if Pakistan is strong. And Pakistan becomes strong by Kashmir ceding to it. Therefore, if there is any saving clause for the Muslims in India, it is by resolution of the Kashmir issue. I know I've heard myself from the Indian Muslims saying this, what you are saying. This has been so extensively propagated outside Pakistan. Very recently, India sent Muslim scholars to Iran and other places to see propagating the same idea. And they spoke to me directly. And I told them that if you want 5-6 million Kashmiris to defend 180 million Muslims, to help with them, I said they can't survive on their own, they will not survive. But we can't do this. But I know for a fact that survival of 180 million Muslims in India depends on the survival of Pakistan. And Pakistan becomes strong by Kashmir acceding to it. So that argument is again one of those Indian bogey arguments you see. The first argument they create from time to time.
Sir, since you know we have limited time at our disposal, in the end I will request you to say something to the Pakistanis and Kashmiris living outside Pakistan. How can they help us very forcibly and effectively in this cause?
You see, what the Pakistani Kashmiri community living abroad can do is perhaps two or three things, not many. One is that they understand properly what the Kashmiri issue is. And simultaneously they understand the mechanism employed by India to deface and mutilate and to reshape the Kashmir issue and present a distorted picture of Kashmir issue. That's the one. Number two is that they put pressure on their own representatives within their own constituencies of their part and their constituents of various constituencies to put pressure on them. And it has worked very well. Very recently, the resolution passed by the Labour Party in its convention has come not merely because of the pressing demand on the Kashmiris outside England, but because of the Kashmiris residing in England itself as constituents. So it has worked very well. And number three is to mobilize world opinion on the point of violation of human rights by India, aggressively mobilize it. And number four is to provide them all sort of economic and moral aid by mobilizing the world agencies working for that purpose. Now these are the four areas where the Kashmiri Pakistani community living outside Pakistan can be of immense help.
Sir, thank you very much. I regard it as the beginning of the process, and I think we shall again be coming to you for advice.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
बहुत अच्छे हो गए
करते हैं, तो महीना तो अमरीका रहेंगे।
ये शायद लंदन आएंगे कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए
ये सब वो उन्होंने